What's good, BP fam? So today's video, we're going to be talking about the inside the ear hearing aid. We're not only going to show you how the inside the ear hearing aid works, but also the good, the bad, and if I should recommend you buying this specific hearing aid. So further ado, let's get it. So before we get started, I'm not really sure what type of hearing aid this one is. It's not as popular as the other hearing aids on the market. I would say this is one of the non-popular ones, if you know what I mean, type of inside the ear hearing aids, and I'll explain why later on in the video. But let's talk about how this hearing aid works. So let's get a much clearer view. I just put my whole thumb into the camera. So as you see right here, this is how it looks. So let's talk about this white piece right here. So this white piece is pretty much covers any ear booger in your ear from preventing to damage this hearing aid. Now what you have to do is you have to clean it twice a day, one in the morning, one at night, so that you pretty much do not have to keep on replacing the white wax piece. And then also you would have to switch this wax piece, I would say every month, a month and a half. So it's pretty good when it comes to that. It lasts you for a couple of weeks, maybe even longer than a couple of weeks. Just depending on how much how often you clean it, and also how often you are surrounded by, the heat and sweating and all that stuff. And now we're going to talk about this little door area right here. So the little door area is pretty much the battery, where it goes. So this is how the battery looks like. I'm not going to take it out because it's going to be kind of annoying taking it out, but you pretty much just knock it down and it comes out. So with this battery lasts you about, I think, about 3 to 4 days, so somewhat decent. It's a little bit less than a regular hearing aid because, as you see, this is a smaller hearing aid than your average hearing aid that you see on other people's ears, because it's just built differently. It doesn't have that many, stuff in it to last longer with battery. By the way, I am not really, a hearing doctor, just to let you know that. This is just my experience. Yeah, so let's get back to it. So yeah, so it pretty much lasts you those many days. And also last but not least, if you see above here, let's see if I can see it much clearly. So I don't know if you can see it, but above the door is a little piece right here, and then in between the door and the piece, see a little area? You always should make sure nothing goes in that area because it can ruin the hearing aid as well. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of this hearing aid. So the pros of this hearing aid is that is not really noticeable. People cannot really. So let's talk about the pros and cons about this hearing aid. So the pro is that people cannot see this hearing aid at all unless they're closer in a certain angle next to you, then they can kind of see it, but it's really hard. It's like 98% of the time you can barely see it. The 1% is like you'll see it, which is awesome. It's really light. So it's really light. You don't have to deal with, carrying a big hearing aid on your ear or in your hand. What else? That's it. The con about it is a pain in the ass. Yeah. The reason why is that you have to brush it 2 times a day. Yeah, you have to brush with a toothbrush 2 times a day, a Pacific toothbrush 2 times a day. Then you have to always make sure nothing gets in the hearing aid because it's such a fragile hearing aid that anytime something gets into it, you're gonna have to repair it. The sound quality is not the best. At first it is, the first 2 or 3 weeks, but then it tends to be really, really bad. You tend to get a headache, and then it sounds like different. Like it sounds like muffling, like, oh, how can you hear me like that? So it sounds like that, or it just sounds, maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but it doesn't sound as clear. And then you get kind of worried if you drop it. I mean, I dropped it a couple of times, but it never broke, thank God. But it was like a baby. And yeah, you just pretty much gotta like take care of it like a lot. Like I've taken care of my hearing aids in the past, and it wasn't like this. and it's just a very fragile hearing aid, I would say. I mean, that's it. I can think of the cons about it and the pros. I mean, I can explain more cons about it, but it's gonna be stories. But I just, to be honest, not a fan of this. That's the con of it. Now, as for the prices of this, it really depends on the inside the ear hearing aid. So this is a totally different inside the ear hearing aid than many others. Like I told you, I couldn't find the name of it. I couldn't find the exact, you know, company of it. Because when I got it, it wasn't like well known, but I really wanted it inside the ear hearing aid. I should have done more research, but I didn't. I just don't get why they even had these out if they're not, I don't know. But I'm not sure how much it is. I'm guessing it's like not as expensive as an implant. I can't give you a range because I'm not really sure, so I want to give you an exact range because I might be wrong. So just look it up. I'll even put a couple links down below of a couple of inside the ear hearing aids, different brands, and you know, try to check them out. Ask if you can recommend checking it out for a day or two. They'll let you, certain companies, others won't, but you know, double check the inside the hearing aid before purchasing it, because inside the ear hearing aid is much different than a regular hearing aid around the ear. Now, as for if I would recommend you it, to be honest, no. This one, no. But in general, I would say don't go based on my experience, because this is the only one I ever had. So I still want inside the ear hearing aid. So I just maybe gotta look at different inside the ear hearing aids. Maybe others are better than this piece of crap. So I would say in the middle, just look it up, do your research like I said a couple of seconds ago, and see what works. Yeah, I mean, this one, I just don't know why I had such an issue with it. I think it's just the product, the brand of it was trash. Or it's just my hearing was so used to my old hearing aid for so many years that I was still not used to it, but I was still trying to give this a chance. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. But yeah, guys, that's all for today's video. I couldn't really think of anything else I can tell you about this hearing aid because I just dislike it a lot. I still plan on getting a new one. I'm not sure when, because it's so expensive nowadays. It's just, it's a lot. And some of these hearing aids are very difficult to find because it's like this. It's like when you have an old car, like those old-fashioned cars, and you get into an accident, and the products and all is very strong, it's well built, it keeps on running for so many years. That was the old hearing aid. The hearing aids now are more like the new cars. You get in a car accident and the car is totaled. It's a cheap product. They care more about the money part than the product part. So it's a little bit more difficult, especially for us older people who experienced hearing aids in the past, who know what's good hearing aid and what's bad. Yeah, trust me, I didn't, it's not like I've tried hearing aids in the past, like once and that's it. I kept that hearing aid for so many years. Like I've tried a couple of hearing aids, like as of when I was getting a new one. I tried this one, I tried that one, I tried that. So I'll try to be open as I can. And it's just, I could just tell the totally difference of how the hearing aid was for me. But hey man, what you gotta do, just gotta try to adapt and see what works, and you'll find the right hearing aid. And yeah guys, that is the video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about inside the ear hearing aid, comment down below. I know I'm not a total expert when it comes inside the ear hearing aid, but hearing aids as a whole, I'm an expert. Just let me know. I'll be more happy to help. If you're new, if you've been experiencing hearing aid all your life, comment down below. I'll be more happy to help. And see you in the next video.